Answer Media Group. How can I help you? Oh, you want the answer guy. Please hold. Answer guy, you have a phone call.
This is the answer guy. How can I help you? How does 911 work? That's an excellent question. I'll get right on that. Chantel, hold all my calls for the day. I'm going to find out how 911 works. Dennis, hold everything you're doing right now. I've got to go find out how 911 works. This is 911. This is 911, right?
This is 911.
Excuse me. Who do I need to talk to? Who's in charge here?
I am.
All right, and you would be?
Richie Hite, Communications Supervisor.
Good to meet you. I'm the answer guy. All right, Mr. Hite, who should and who should not call 911?
Okay, people calling 911, you should call 911 if you have a life-threatening emergency, someone sick or injured, and if there's a crime in progress.
All right.
Any other calls should be directed to the non-emergency number.
Okay. All right. So, say if I have a fire emergency and I call, how is that delegated out? Does that go can anybody in this room pick that up, or?
When a 911 call comes in, anyone in this room can answer it and take care of the problem at hand. Just depending on what type of call it is, the dispatcher that answers the call enters the call into the CAD system and routes it to the appropriate console, be it fire, police, or medical.
Okay.
And then that police, fire, or medical dispatcher handles the call from there,
All right.
sending the appropriate agencies.
All right. About how many calls do y'all get a day?
We roughly average 750, 800, somewhere around in there.
All right. When seems to be the most stressful time of the day? When do you really seem to get all those calls?
Early afternoons, generally around between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. is our peak call time.
What's the matter?
Alrighty. And is there a certain time of year where those calls
Okay, what
tend
did
to
Dustin
rise?
listen to me? Okay, he's there.
Generally in the summertime when people are out doing more,
Did he
they're
assault you?
more active outside, baseball games and whatnot.
Okay.
We get
Okay,
quite a
listen
few
to me
more
just
calls.
A second, okay? What's
Alrighty.
his name?
Well, Miss Susan over here seems to
He
be
did
pretty
not-
busy.
he
Could you
did
kind of
not
explain to me kind of
assault you.
what she's doing right here and explain to me what's going on?
Okay. She's taking a phone call, sounds like a possible assault, and she's
Okay,
entering
so
the
he's reading
information
you,
into the
all
CAD,
right? But
talking
he's
to the
like,
complainant,
Hang on just a second, honey. He's
trying to
left.
obtain
What
as
kind of
much
vehicle do you
information
leave
as
in?
she can, such as name,
Do you
location,
leave in a
phone number,
vehicle or do you
callback
leave on
number.
foot?
And then after she gets
What kind of
that
car?
call, it will route over to the police
Which way did he
console,
go, do you know?
and he will dispatch the zone officer to take care of the call.
All right.
Towards Springs?
So this seems to be
Who's
quite
that
a
hauling in
setup
the
here. So
background?
they obviously have to go through extensive training about
Okay,
how
how old
much
are
training
you?
they have to go through, what's it take to
Okay,
be a
what's your name?
dispatcher.
But we've got a structured on-the-job training program. It lasts about
And your
6
phone number
months,
there, Jessica?
and it probably entails maybe about 600 to 700 hours
Okay,
of
and
actual
Dustin
on-hands
Asher was there, and
training.
he's left.
Plus, we've got
Correct?
classroom training
Okay,
that we
you're
go to, and
1845
they
call.
have to go to
Okay,
Nashville
I'll
to
send
become
somebody else. He comes
NCIC
back
certified
before we
through
get there, call me
TIES.
back on 911, okay?
All right.
Uh-huh.
So I also understand there's a program called the Reverse 911. How
Mm-hmm.
exactly does that work? What's its purpose?
Okay, what we use Reverse 911 for is it's a database of all the telephones in the city. And if we have an emergency in a specific area, we can, for lack of a better word, plot that area, find all the phone numbers and addresses in that area, and call those people at home, advising them of the emergency and what steps they need to take.
Okay, there's an awful lot of screens and monitors going on here. Can you explain? I mean, are they all the same thing, or they all have a separate purpose? I mean,
No, each monitor up here has a separate purpose. The monitor on your far right here, that's the telephone console. It's got all of our incoming telephone calls. We've got all of our 911 trunks and the admin lines coming in. And then we can also select over on another page. This contains all of the telephone numbers that we normally use for the police department. And then the fire and EMS, we've got those straight lines to each fire station and EMS station and life-saving crew.
alrighty.
And then the next one over is the radio console. It has, Susan is selected up on police now, so she's got all the police radios up.
Okay.
Now she's went to the master dispatch screen, which displays everything that we can talk on as far as police, fire, medical, public works, and water department. The next the next screen to the left is the CAD screen. That's where we process the calls coming in. It also shows us where each officer is, what he's assigned to, and what he's doing at any specific time during the shift.
Okay.
The next screen over to the left is the status monitor. That's also shows us what each officer is doing, how many officers we have available throughout the city, and where they're located throughout the city. Next one over to the left is the mapping monitor. When we get a 911 call, that screen there will actually zoom in. You're going to edit this, right? Not zoom in.
I'll call myself.
Yeah, just bring up something there close where they can see it.
Alrighty.
Okay. You call yourself?
I'll call myself.
Okay.
Alright. Okay.
Oh no, it's 911.
Now, when we receive a 911 call, the information displayed gives us an aerial view of the address,
Alright.
and the address is circled with the flashing circle so that we can give the responding agencies directions if needed.
Okay.
And it also brings up the
Did I point at it?
it's okay.
I was. read that
This
with
is what
you.
this is what I was going to say. And when we get the 911 call, Susan just disconnects it and it goes away.
Okay.
But let's do this here.
Didn't hit it right.
Okay. When we receive a 911 call, this is the information we receive.
Okay.
It'll be the name of the resident or the business name, the address, and then at the bottom it'll have which agencies respond along with the business or resident's telephone number.
Okay. Alrighty, so let me get this straight. So you said earlier that every one of these stations is delegated to a separate type of emergency. So this gentleman over here is,
This is Patrick Sorge,
alrighty,
and he's working fire.
so he takes care of all calls related to fire emergencies.
He takes care of fire in the city for today.
Alrighty. And then this lovely lady over here.
Forgot your last name. Brandy Long. And she's taking care of EMS.
EMS.
So any ambulance service calls that come in throughout the day, she'll take care
There
of
we go
today.
through her.
Mhm.
Alrighty. And then this last station over here.
This is Brian Malone. He's one of our newest trainees. He's fixing to go out on his own Friday, and he's handling police.
Alrighty.
So he takes care of any police calls that come in, dispatches the appropriate officer, and handles their needs also.
Alrighty. So all police come to this section, this
Mhm.
area. Medical and EMS, and then fire.
Right.
Alright.
And then if we get inundated with calls and have many more, we've got 2 call taker positions
Alright.
where they're just delegated just to answer incoming telephone calls.
Okay. Alright. So let's put you in a scenario here. Say there's a bomb threat or a fire and something happens to this building. Are you guys going to call 911? Who do you call? How do you work that?
Now, we've got a set procedure where we would evacuate the building in the event of an emergency or a life-threatening incident. We have a secondary dispatch center set up, and we would actually leave this center, go to that center, set it up, and start taking the calls from there.
Alright.
And during that time, any calls that would come into this center, we would roll over to Sullivan County so that they could take care of those so no 911 calls would be lost.
Alright. Thank you very much, Mr. Hyde, for having us here. You've really informed me. Hope I've answer some of your questions. If you have any more, email me at theanswerguy@mytown16.com.
Yeah.